is here to explain more Elden Ring enemies. Let's just get straight into it. You could say every demigod has their own army of little guys, and mostly they consist of humanoids. Usually every army has three tiers. You have foot soldiers, soldiers, and knights. Foot soldiers do not have the largest numbers. Soldiers do. Also, I for one think that there should have been some knight commander like bosses for each army, like Ordovis in Siluria, but whatever. Now, the Royal Lindel Cavalry has a complicated relationship with Morgoth. He is of royalty, yes, but still an omen as we can clearly see, so he can't exactly rule publicly. Thus it is tough as Margit the Fell Omen. So then, how does the Lindel army still function? That's because they are extremely loyal to the Erdtree, not the throne, not the Golden Order, nor Marika. They are in Lindel to simply protect the Erdtree, nothing more. The soldiers were the ramparts that fortified the royal capital during the Shattering. Their golden circles have the object of their worship. And the knights' helmets represent the honor of standing among the tree's defenders. Their breastplates also have a symbol of Erdtree worship and rumored to have been imbued with an incantation of protection. The spirit ash we use of ancient dragon knight Kristoff is a Lindel knight. Kristoff earned the hero's honor of Erdtree burial for the feat of capturing Godfrey the Grafted. So Godfrey was involved in this very first siege. We can find him in Golden Lineage Evergel. He's a member of, you guessed it, the Golden Lineage like Godric. Crazy that he would take up the same hobby of grafting as his, I don't know, distant cousin. Another cousin of his is Subscribe the Grafted. This is going to get much worse, isn't it? Anyways, trying to reach 200 subs by next month. So if you want gaming, lore or ranking content in your feed, do subscribe and ring the bell. Even though there's gonna be a lot of Elden Ring content for a month or two, I plan to include any game that I like in my channel. And to those who have subscribed, cannot express my love towards you all, and those who haven't, well, still love you guys, but if you do subscribe, I'll love you even more. The soldiers of Godric are what remains of the army that fled the royal capital. They wear orange and green circles bearing the emblems of the Erdtree and the Beast Regent, Sarosh, an emblem of Golden Lineage. The knights wear the same color stuff, but also wear a plate with a two-headed war axe, another emblem of Golden Lineage. Their helms are plumed with ashen hell like Godric himself, and their great shields are coated in a red-tinged gold, which mirrors the primordial matter that became the Erdtree, said to be the color of homeward yearning. There is a unique blood-crazed Godric knight who has taken over Fort Height. He seems to be an agent of Moog. Another part of Godric's army are grafted scions, his experiments, and they carry armaments symbolizing the Golden Lineage. They are called scions because, well, they're still growing as in the grafted parts are that of. Don't make me say it, man. YouTube is gonna demonetize me, even though I'm not even monetized yet. The Radahn cavalry has your typical foot soldiers, but the soldiers are rumored to know no weaknesses. They're essentially masterful warriors. I really doubt that. Their circles display a red-man lion raising a sword, and their visors are styled after lion's fangs. Radahn Knights are uniquely known as Redman Knights. Their red plumes are a symbol of Radahn's pedigree, of course. Redman Knight Ogre is the longest serving and can use gravity magic like his lord. The purple in all of their armor indicates the said gravity. These knights remained in Caelid and they knew they were gonna die, but still remained to drive off the rot, even burning their crests to show their resolve. Maybe because of their absolute dedication, their specters can still be found fighting spectral Clean-Knot Knights. Melania's army only consisted of Clean-Knot Knights, because I doubt your average foot soldier Joe would sign up for her rot, unlike her loyal Clean-Knot Knights who vowed to fight for her despite gradual and inevitable rot. They each carry a winged sword insignia, and they all carry a sword like Melania. Their commanders hold the Halo Scythe and also use Michaela's rings. Their golden armor is adorned with crimson fur, symbolizing the rot, of course. Only named Clean-Knot Knight is Finlay, who after Melania's nuke carried her to the Halictree and perished in the process by her own mistress's rot. Like Finlay, most Clean-Knot Knights have died. The survivors remain scattered throughout the land, like in Stillwater Cave and Abandoned Cave. They all are obviously in hiding. The foot soldiers of Miquella's Erdtree carry sacred light that explodes in their last moments. They do this because they think this will help in the Lord's return. Somehow, I don't know how. The Erdtree soldiers are directly stated to be weak, thus they're found in huge groups. They bear the crest of the Erdtree and their color scheme is golden with white. The Erdtree Knights wield holy and magic and their armor is made of unalloyed gold. Loretta, a former Carrion Knight, left to search for a safe haven for Albinaurics. Why? Because she might have been one herself. Eventually, she found Miquella and to show loyalty, replaced her glintstone stuff with gold. But her spectral version is still in Carrier Manor. Now, this can be an illusion of Rani, but also can be a show of good faith by Loretta herself, because it's not like she betrayed Carrier. The Real Lucaria foot soldiers wander around the academy in Liurnia and are not permitted to enter. Real Lucaria soldiers are known as cuckoos and they were given free rein to wage war by the academy and were infamous for it. Their circles depict twinned cuckoos peering into a flourishing mass of glintstone. Each helm is adorned with a single cuckoo's feather. There are no sorcerers, thus they use the cuckoo glintstones. And when the academy turned against the Carrion royal family, the cuckoos launched an assault on Carrier Manor. However, they were caught in an enchanted snare and turned into spectral puppets to defend the manor. Cuckoo Knights wear red and blue armor, emblazoned with a peering cuckoo, whose shrewd gaze is thought to represent the Knights' refusal to be mere servants of the academy. For payment, they were taught sorceries. These Cuckoo Knights had the power to match the champions of gold, or Lindel Knights basically. They suffered the same enchanting fate as the Cuckoo soldiers. Moongrum is one of such enchanted knights still left and guards Real Lucaria's Grand Library where Renala resides. We'll talk about the sources later. Now, the Walking Mausoleum also has its own three-tiered cavalry. Wandering mausoleums are the wrestling places of soulless demigods who are Marika's unwanted children. Reminds me of someone. Yeah, she was kind of bad parent. The Mausoleum army have beheaded themselves to follow their masters into death. For some reason, the foot soldiers can only be found in the mountaintops. The soldiers' circles depict the Mausoleum bell. The knights wear wing-shaped ornaments that evoke the deathbird, and their shields are emblazoned with the eclipsed sun. This eclipse is the protective star of the soulless demigods and aids the knights in keeping destined death at bay. The Nox Cavalry doesn't have foot soldiers and the like, but they still have 3 tiers of people. They use flowing weapons forged from the liquid metal of silver tears. Long ago, they committed treason against the Greater Will and the Fingers by fashioning crystalline helmets out of glass to ward off the intervention. They were banished underground to live under false night sky in eternal anticipation of the coming Age of Stars and of their own Lord of Night. Nox Knight Maidens are the highest authority, signaled by their twin crowns, which hide their eyes with silk. Sword straces wearing conical crowns guard them. Nox Monks are the lowest tier here, but they are no foot soldiers, alright. A Nox Monk and Sorceress protect Lusat's staff in Celia. Their being here is unnatural, sure, but perhaps after getting exiled for getting too much into stars, Lusat became interested in the Nox and a partnership was born. This is just a theory, of course. Oh yeah, the Sorceress and Night Maiden puppets found are unique in the way that they become so out of their own volition. Why and how is still unclear. Crucible Knights serve Godfrey and like Cleanrot Knights have no tiers. Their armor holds the power of the Crucible of Life, the primordial form of the Erdtree. Their strength and appearance was seen as chaotic and deserving of scorn, because the Crucible itself is scorned upon. Those who are led by Ordovis, their armor is adorned with his mark of X ornamentation, and they wield a similar greatsword to him. Saluria's mark is a tree. Her knights wield a similar spear to her. This tree is not the Erdtree, of course it is modeled after the Crucible. A total of 16 Crucible Knights can be fought, though 2 are already dead. Notable ones include, or the bosses are, a Crucible Knight found in an Everjoel for crimes unknown. One is in Redmond Castle to show their strength, and joins up with a Leonine Misbegotten because, well, they too are blessed by the Crucible, I guess. Tanith's Knight is a Crucible Knight and is against the Two Fingers actively. The two already dead are summoned by a spirit called Snail. Ordovis is randomly found in a hero's grave, and Siluria seemingly guards the remains of a knight in deep root depths. Fun fact, Ordovis and Siluria are named after either Celtic tribes or geological eras. So that's it for armies, but there are still bands of soldiers and knights. One such is the fallen Hawk soldiers who were ordered to explore the Eternal Cities. During the exploration, their embers started fading away and they burned their fellow soldiers' bones. Okay? And they accidentally managed to create Ghost Flame this way. Now, this is not the first instance of Ghost Flame in history, mind you, it's just a rediscovery. This blasphemy may have caused their deformities. They were probably a company of slaves and probably related to Crucible Knights as they fight alongside one. Now, Ghost Flame has sealed their fates as eternal denizens of the Eternal Cities. Banished knights and exiled soldiers hide their faces. They're banished and exiled because they lost their lands. They're found in fringes like Stormville Castle, yeah, Stormville is considered the fringes. Spectral versions can be found in Castle Sol, under Commander Niel forming the No Nation army. The Knights of Zemmour are the mortal enemies of fire giants. They earned renown during the war with them. The ancient heroes of Zemmour can be found in heroes' graves, though one is in an Evergel, no idea why. Bloodhound Knights are trained hunters and trackers. They have no language, they choose their own master which they will stay loyal to the point that they are found guarding their corpses, like the Bloodhound Knight found in Lakeside Crystal Cave, guarding an almost dead Latenna. But Bloodhound Knight Daryl is an exception, being a traitor and thus sicked by Blythe. He may have served Rani but somehow betrayed her. You know what I think? I think he may have served Sylvis because otherwise a Bloodhound Knight should not be doing betrayals. Bloodhound Knight Theo was known as a rabbit stray because he vowed he would only serve a true king, thus he never found a master. This guy might be the champion the Red Wolf served in Gelmir Hero's grave. Both Daryl and Theo are also named after geological eras like the Crucible Knight leader duo. Tree Sentinels are ramparts of the Erdtree, the ideal defenders. After Grandsack's attack, some of them started emulating the dragons to protect better. No scaly fetish at all. These became Draconic Tree Sentinels. One such Draconic dude is somehow in Farum Azula. Now some factions. Flame Monks aided the Erdtree against the Fire Giants, designed Flame Protect Me and were appointed to watch over the flame. But in Souls fashion, they succumbed to the allure of the Fell God. That's why, despite being against it, they hold the Fell God in their chestplate. Chief Guardian Arganthe is particularly strong, befitting her title. She devised Flame of the Fell God, which revealed the said Fell God still exists within the last Fire Giant. This flame was stolen by Adan, Thief of Fire. That's why even though they are supposed to be only in the mountaintops, some flame monks can be found in Leonia to pursue Adan. They're also in Kaelid to fight off the rot. Fire Prelates are the commanders. Their weight frames symbolize their grave vows and some carry whips similar to Bras of Sin. Prelate Birak beheaded himself to teach a lesson to lazy arrogant monks. I do not know how that works. Anyways, these monks then decided to make a candlestick out of his head and make one of the most powerful weapons known to man. And the Thorn Sorcerers are guilty humanoids, their eyes gouged by thorns, thus living in eternal darkness. And this way they found the Bloodstar, and now can use aberrant or thorn sorceries, the worst ones really. Fire monks lead them, or more like keep them in check. Flame chariots are modeled after the fire giants. Some accompany the cuckoos, possibly as a gift to them. Now, some fire monks have turned. Amon was the first traitor who defected to go against the gods, becoming the first Black Flame monk. But the fire monks said that Amon fled out of cowardice to stop any further traitors, but it did not work, as many followed suit, flocking to Mount Gelmir. Flame Guardians can also be part of the Flame Monk faction, though not sure. They're tarnished and might be protecting Chief Guardian Arganthe. The Godskins are clearly against the gods. Possibly their drip is created by the Domunal dancers, also known as celebrants. They're all women dressed in ceremonial garb. The blue garb wearing ones are thought to play a vital role. They wield tools from human bones and carry skull clubs. They possibly peel skin for the godskins, and as a godskin apostle is found here. One apostle can be found guarding the Godslayer's great sword, one of their prized possessions. The godskins serve the Glowmite Queen and the god-slaying flame derived from Destined Death. They were the initial protectors of Destined Death but were defeated by Malekith and locked up. The Godskin Nobles are the most ancient ones. A Godskin Noble is in Volcano Manor because, well, going against the gods. And everyone's favorite Godskin duo is in Farum Azula to try to take back Destined Death. Highwaymen are former Godric foot soldiers. They are led by Patches and operate out of Markwater Cave. Black Knife Assassins of course kill Godwyn's soul. They are Newmen, said to be scions of the Eternal Cities, thus have close ties to Marika. After the night, they went into hiding all throughout the lands between, from Ordina to random catacombs. Alecto was the ringleader and is imprisoned in an Everjewel in the Moonlight Altar. Sadly, she saw her daughter Tish get killed in front of her very eyes, dying while protecting her mother. Pages serve nobility. They wear good clothes to not feel good about themselves, but so they don't shame their masters. High pages are higher, faster, better, stronger. They serve even after their masters' deaths, protecting their positions. Bloody Fingers hunt the tarnished by the order of Moog. Neruis is initially sent to kill us. Ravenmount assassins were already killers by trade and assail their victims while dressed as birds of prey. Eleonora, Violet Bloodyfinger, the strongest of all, hailed from the land of Rees, same as Bloodyfinger hunter Yura, who probably had strong feelings towards her. Another Bloodyfinger from the land of Reeds is Okina. Okina means old man. This name comes from the wooden mask that he wears. He has several disciples in a group called the White Reeds, combatants who seek honorable deaths. They are also called Inaba. As time passed and the more Okina sharpened his mind, the more the absurdities of the world came into stark relief. And so he renounced it all, rose to a higher plane. There was only himself and his katana. He joins us in the fight against Radahn, but after that, he found and fought Moog. Moog felt the madness within Okina and proposed him a life of a demon, whose thirst would never go unsated. Okina accepted it and later invades you as a bloody finger. His disciples travelled in search of him but died in Spirit Caller's cave. If you want to be a bloody finger yourself and to complete Vara's questline, you are tasked to hunt Magnus the Beastclaw. He is a tarnished and one of the last worshippers of Serosh, Lord of Beasts. Yeah, Serosh seems like he was a big deal, but becoming a pet will make your worshipper count obviously go low. The agents of Volcano Manor are called Recusants. Recusant Bernal is initially encountered as a merchant and then as an agent who gives you and aids you in contracts for the Volcano Manor. But he invades you in Farum Azula for unknown reasons, but he might be on his way to fight Malekith himself. Another agent, Henricus, kills anyone who seeks the Limgrave Coliseum. Henricus is possibly an agent of Gideon due to the eye symbols literally everywhere on his armor. Giza too is a recusant but attacks us in the manor because he suspects us, even after officially joining it. Now some targets of the Volcano Manor. All tarnished are Great Horn Tragoth, who is a silent knight famed for helping many tarnished, also aids against Radahn. He has many other summons too. Juno Hoslo, Dialos' loving older brother and head of his house. Multiple refusals to Volcano Manor caused him to become a target. Confessors loyally serve the Two Fingers as assassins and their leader is Creepus. Riley the Idol is such a confessor and a target, though Riley himself might be Creepus and he is also related to Malay Marias. Royal Lucaria only values talent and skill. The noble sorcerers who are asked to be given a place were usually not talented enough to even don crowns, as they can only learn glintstone pebbles. These frail old men use a staff both as weapons and walking sticks. They can be sometimes found with their fellow wandering nobles. These nobles are products of unending life. They wander around in search of something endlessly. Scholars who study at Royal Lucaria wear heavy stone crowns embedded with glintstone to designate the conspectors they belong to. The members of Carolus Conspectors, established by Azur, dedicate themselves to the study of comets. They are descendants of astrologers. Lusa started the Olivinus Conspectus, they study meteors. Heterodox Lazuli Conspectus studies carrion sorceries, viewing the moon as an equal to the stars. They use wooden swords imbued with glintstone. Twin sages are the elites, mastering all sorceries. A variant exists combining Lazuli and Olivinus Conspectus, found in the rooftops of the Academia and Seria. There is also Selen's Conspectus with the Witch's Crown, but not properly named yet. Battle mages were Hymer crowns of the Eponymous Conspectus. They are adjudicators of the Academy. They used cannon and Hevel sorceries. When Realvocaria was locked, only battle mages went out to seek the power to end the conflict between the Academy and Carrion royalty. But battle mage Hugus only longed for the thrill of battle. That's why he is locked in an Everjoe. There is another Conspectus, Herodas. A tarnished scholar Wilhelm belonged there. He was able to make contact with the primeval current and is one of the first tarnished ever to visit the Round Table, along with Vergam the Raging Wolf. He befriended Vergam, who was named after the white wolf pelt on his helm. He aspired to be a shadow to an Emprian, but their differing guidance led them to a fight. Thus they were imprisoned. Both are targets of Volcano Manor and can be found in the fake Round Table hold. That's it for groups of humanoid enemies. Now some named singular humanoids. Anastasia Tarnished Eater, known as the Ogress, is your female cannibal butcher archetype of Souls games. She hands down Tarnished under the disguise of a Finger Maiden. The Baleful Shadow is an assassin of two fingers sent after Rani. It resembles Blythe and holds the power of destined death. Not gonna talk about Vike's lore, instead gonna rant about him. When he invades you as the Festering Fingerprint, he uses frenzy incantations. But when you fight him for real in the Everjoe, he doesn't use them. Why? Mad Tongue Albreak is an aloof yet disturbed heretical sorcerer. His attire is adorned by red glintstone born from the blood of sacrifices. It is said he was driven mad by jeering tongues during his service to the hold, and he invades you here out of jealousy, I suppose. Perceptor Miriam is a teacher at the Carrion Study Hall, served Carrion royals, and now guards the hall from intruders. Necromancer Garrus was a sage who went heretical after or even before acquiring the Prince of Death's staff. He rediscovered an ancient death hex capable of summoning vengeful spirits. He wields a chain weapon consisting of 3 copperheads, said to resemble his wife and 2 children. Commander O'Neill continued to brandish his lord's flag in the Swamp of Aeonia even after said lord fled. He is now the sole veteran who remembers that battle with pride. He possesses the unalloyed gold needle, that's why he's not, rotted yet, even after being in the literally heart of Aeonia. He was the same armor as Niall, who is possibly O'Neill's son, or maybe the other way around. Commander Niall is the veteran of Castle Saul. He offered his prosthesis in exchange for the lives of imprisoned knights, forming an army of no nation. He also commands the spirits of deceased banished knights to defend his long-lost master. Okay, that's it. This was a big project, and an even bigger project will come in the shape of a boss ranking list. Think it will be a 3-parter? Maybe even a 4-parter, I don't know. Somehow there has not been a proper full boss ranking of Elden Ring yet. Understandably, with all the unique 165 bosses filled with ingenuity, but yeah, market gap or something. See you in the next vid. It's gonna be that boss ranking. And yeah, also let me know if you actually want that ranking vid part by part, or in a whole thing. Because the latter would be, well, above 3 hours. Drop a like if you enjoyed and comment down any lore I missed. Thanks for watching and goodbye.